Gvan, welcome, brave souls. I am your GM in the Great Barrier, broadcasting from the center of your entertainment galaxy. We are back for Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword and the conclusion of our current episode, Hay'wI, Part 5. Before we get started, we have a few announcements and shoutouts to get through tonight. The first would be some programming notes. We premiered a YouTube-exclusive occasional series this past weekend, Star Trek Adventures The Lost Scenes. There's some scene ideas that don't make it into our sessions for different reasons, but that our players want to include. With this series, we'll get to show off more of their creative work, as well as create some canon additions to both campaigns. So be sure to check it out on YouTube. The first one just went up on Saturday with a lost scene set early in the current season of Aegis. It's really great work. Definitely check it out. Aegis is also coming back this week, joined by our own cheesy Mr. Traven Lex here in the Broken Sword campaign. We definitely hope you join us there as the adventure heats up over on Aegis, and we hope you definitely come back for next week's Broken Sword, when our own Joe the Overland Gamer takes over the campaign as GM. It's going to be fun. Speaking of Joe, let's go ahead and shout out some of our other players who are streaming in their own right. Joe, tell us about what you've got going on. I understand you've been paying a visit to my favorite little valley.
I have. Over on our live stream, we started a brand new map on the Wilderness Farm. So we've been playing through that, kind of checking out the new updates and stuff. I know a lot of the updates that they did were late game stuff, but it's been fun and exciting. And starting tomorrow on our podcast, Overland Gamer, the podcast, will be a brand new episode. Free RPG Day is coming up in next month, and I decided to do some podcast episodes, kind of exploring some of the games that are going to be featured in the Free RPG Day kits. So, yeah, exciting times.
Thanks, Joe. Also on our streaming list would be Caligo, who plays the ship's engineer Raldar. Tell us what you got going on over at your channel.
I just hit affiliate, so I will soon have emotes and channel point spins for people to do horrible things.
Yay!
I'm just waiting for Twitch to catch up with that fact.
Oh, congratulations there, Caligo. Well earned. And I'll look forward to catching both the Dungeons and Dragons stream that I know that you've had running these past several weeks. Also, whatever gaming you have coming up on the channel. For those of you checking us out in the archive, the links to both Joe's Overland Gamer channel, the podcast, and Caligo's Twitch channel, specifically under the Xyla OXO tag. All of those are in the description. I would highly encourage you to check all of those out. And yeah, definitely hope that you enjoy yourselves. We have a nice bunch of people that we have streaming together. So, with those out of the way, we have one other announcement to get into, and a very special one here. Let me just flip some things around. Okay, yes, I think that it is not my place to say anything on this, so I leave it to
lovely
the two present
girlfriend
to make that announcement.
Well,
Take it away.
now not girlfriend took me geocaching that she set up for me. Everything was set up by her. And at the end of the thing, we were geocaching in a cemetery. I was looking around the tree, fully enamored by the geocaching, and as I came around the tree, Ray, who plays Woe, was on one knee and proposed to me, and I said yes. So we are now engaged to be married.
Cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
cool.
you.
Can't wait for the wedding invites.
You are being all invited, and I expect you all to come.
I'll come to your house.
We will bag you. We will bag you like a Traven.
It's called the Draven maneuver.
Well, the others are welcome to say their bit here, but I think I speak for everybody when I say congratulations, you two. I could not be happier for the both of you.
Yes, Kalis' silliest warriors got together. I'm very happy.
So who gets locked in the cave and who's fasting?
I mean, I'm the one that's locked in the cage. I'm not gonna fast. That's too much work.
I don't eat a lot anyway. I could just drink fluids for the rest of my life if I wanted to.
You literally do that now.
I suppose then we'll be undergoing the 6 trials of Kalhaya, specifically those of deprivation, blood, pain, sacrifice, anguish, and death, all while fasting.
I will be bringing the clubs to attack you.
Oh, there is actually. I'm planning to have a full-on lightsaber versus Batleth battle at our wedding.
Nice.
Best go for a Batleth forged with either Cortosis or Beskar, depending upon what source you are going off of. In any case, I will take a moment to note, just as an aside for those of you watching in the archive, we did have a technical issue during this stream. My OBS did not recognize the mic initially, so I have recorded most of this initial audio, and there was a version of the recap that I had gone over without that. But I went ahead and redid it after I figured out what was going on. So we will just be able to cut back into that. The audio should go back to being pretty much the same from here. So I hope you folks enjoy, and also with the benefit of hindsight, I can definitely stand by my congratulations. I am so happy for my players. So let's get back to it. When last we left off, a vicious battle has been fought over the planet of Hosh-Shamar between the forces of House Mog and House Kullorn. Both sides have depleted each other to the point where the battle is, for all intents and purposes, mostly over. Only a small holdout of the Kullorn forces truly remain, and they are on the edge of defeat. In order to save them, a member of the House Kullorn, Raldar, has gone in to he engaged in a stealthy plan to undermine the lines of of House Mog's forces. In doing so, he crossed through a sewer with a motley crew consisting of his own clone, known to most of the crew as Dar. He has also brought along some of his other, some of the other minor officers or supporting crew, including Nogri, the Creel gentleman who had been a part of a team meant to originally kill and bring him in, but has shifted his allegiance, and Chamok, the stowaway, more or less, from the planet of Mektor. He serves the House of Tabok, or rather the House of Cord, and yeah, he's here. He blew some stuff up. Without blowing up himself. Indeed,
always a bonus.
Yes, the mission proved remarkably successful, and the crew of this crew managed to make it behind the lines in order to. Originally, the plan was to simply set and detonate a bomb that would destroy an artillery position as well as some other fortifications and signal the start of a larger engagement, specifically a 3-pronged attack by Kulek, the Klingon who is considered Raldar's adoptive uncle. The battle, however, went slightly differently than they expected, more successfully. They were able to defeat a number of the Klingons, use the artillery gun itself to blast at other positions, and then when they were engaged with other forces, when other forces arrived, they came with a high-ranking commander, a Klingon warrior by the name of Sheglach. Raldar engaged him in single combat and successfully managed to defeat him in battle, though he left him alive, albeit with a very lethal wound. And he used that opportunity with his full attention to basically relay that, yes, the battle is indeed over, and it was time for resolution, which Raldar proposed, single combat, between representatives of the two forces. And having earned both attention and a degree of respect, the warrior decided to carry that message to his commander. So it is, I think, fair to say that they've left you in peace, or rather they allowed you to return back to the line through the sewers, where news comes and where other plans are presently at work, introducing newer unstable elements. The first ones we are going to come back to here, though, will be the crew that are just emerging from the sewer section. Having gone through the partially flooded tunnels, largely broken down from the heavy fighting and barrages, you manage to still find a stable path back into the city. Although some dull fires burn in the distance, there's not presently any signs that, in your absence, that new fires have occurred or that further combat has been joined. Indeed, coming out of the sewers, you see that the warriors that are around are simply making ready, it seems, for to traverse. There appear to be dozens and dozens of warriors lined up, all standing in more or less like covered positions from which some will follow the route you were going to take and enter the sewer. Among them, as you come out, Raldar, is one of the higher-ranking Klingon warriors that you recognized, specifically Kulek's aide, Latash. Glancing at you with his one eye, and kind of covered in a bit of dust at this point, he approaches you in the open. You returned, but the bomb has not detonated. How soon can we expect this to be ready?
It is ready now. I have set a detonator. However, there has something occurred during the mission.
He narrows his eye. Explain.
The emplacement we engaged was, at the time, being inspected by one of their generals.
The eye inverts, going from narrowed to widen. You have dealt the enemy a grievous blow, then.
I defeated them. I defeated him in a duel.
This could affect the calculations for for the coming battle. We must move to inform General Kulek.
They may soon be issuing a formal honor duel to end this battle once and for all.
The moment that there's a momentary beat after you say that, as Latash seems to look off into a sort of middle distance and ponder your words. Rises and returns his gaze to you, Raldar. All the more important, we tell the general what has transpired. He may yet survive to win victory another day. As will we all.
It is our best opportunity, and let us be quick.
Yes. Come with me. He redirects one of the other warriors to be on standby and to take command, more or less, as the situation on the ground remains in its precarious state. He is going to lead you back towards the command center, and he's going to also start tapping into his wrist communicator in order to hurriedly get word along to the rest of the crew, hoping, as you do, that that your efforts here will be enough to dissuade them from launching a foolhardy offensive. Whilst you are on the run there, I am going to move scenes around just for a moment, because we are going to cover some stuff running concurrently with this. Let's see if the
death of Traven Lex for real this time.
It could really happen. He could get bagged, like body bagged.
All distinct possibilities. Let's see where it goes. As I understand it, Traven, your intention was to move towards the one of the other craft. Was that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So first, let me ask you here: whom would you want to recruit for this particular task? Whom would you want to come with you, if anyone?
I think I had Zionol and Croker with me,
Okay.
if I remember correctly.
You do.
Yeah.
Or wait, did Croker go back to the ship?
I'm willing to say that Croker would be present for the affairs here, where we can play it flexibly, in particular because I think at least part of the reason for bringing Croker was to also have Betty around.
Croker is also there for funsies. He's a great guy.
He's a very sweet man, yes.
This is the underdog team.
Yeah. Zionol, I think, either hasn't been entirely clued in as of yet, or is kind of along for the ride. All with, I promise you, Rev, with all the plausible deniability he could eat.
I'd say that he probably has not been clued in on what exactly is happening, because he would have words about what they're about to try and do.
Very good.
As would any self-respecting Klingon.
Indeed. All right, so say that elsewhere in the section, and give me one moment. I'm just having one slight issue. Okay, just needed to plug in some supplemental power. Make sure that my computer doesn't get angry at me for a moment. Okay. Yeah, Traven, you and the others who may or may not be properly clued in with what you have in mind here, have made your way towards one of the other craft here. I'm going to say a lot of what's docked here, or a lot of what's been landed, are some bird of preys. There might be, like, one or two of the larger landing-style vessels, the Ilth class. There is also probably a couple craft that you realized have had more of a hard landing, or they might have gotten them down somehow without causing too much damage, but they're not getting back up again. We'll say one of the spiky cylindrical vessels, the Daspu class. That one you found was the easiest target because A, it has somewhat functional systems. B, of the warriors that are in here, most seem to be like confined to cargo sections and medical areas. This is largely being reserved for. It seems to be largely reserved for, a supplemental shelter at this point. In essence, it doesn't look like this craft is going to be in that much more use otherwise. You can at least tell that they've stripped off parts of hull plating and probably some bits of gear. You don't have the full details on it, but we'll say for our purposes that entering through one of the sort of opened areas that's kind of it would have been a cargo bay, now converted into practically like a hangar and improvised field hospital section. With all the other warriors, or so many, pulled away for the battle that was about to come, you find that you are able to easily infiltrate the craft. There's no one really in a good position to challenge you as you make your way in. So, let's see here. I'm going to say that with the help of a scanner and perhaps some rudimentary knowledge that Croker might at the very least have, you manage to find your way to just outside of the main command pod. The module, is it's a smaller bridge setup, but it is still functional, and that'll give you a better idea of how systems are working here. The door is, however, locked. So, you, Croker, and Zionol are standing outside of the locked bridge compartment.
Huh. Should we knock?
Do you plan to get a warm welcome?
I don't think I'll get a very warm welcome if I break in.
Okay. It's your call. Whoever it is whatever it is you're planning on doing, it's your business. I'm just here to make sure you don't get yourself killed.
I appreciate that. I need that more often than you think. Do I hear anybody on the other side of the door?
I'm going to say that you don't hear anything through the main door.
Betty, can you get the door open, please?
I'm so sorry, Pudding Cup. What did you say?
Can you open the door, please? I'd be really appreciative.
Well, the thing is, I'm over here and you're over there, so probably not.
Hey, Zionol, have I ever told you how amazing you look today?
No, but you can start now.
I feel like this door needs somebody with an expert mind on the ways of subterfuge that only a master could have.
Okay, first of all,
Are you saying I don't have a mind for subterfuge?
Well, you're over there.
subterfuge, I am offended. Traven. I requisition goods. I buy things. I stock goods. What does that have to do with being sneaky?
I'm a fool, but I'm not dumb.
Oh, sweetie, you're like as slick as a car salesman. You're not even remotely hiding anything. Mr. GM, can Betty at all unlock doors from where she's at?
I'm going to say that I think it's reasonable that if you so desired, you could transfer yourself back into Croker. You could broadcast and download. You've got decent speeds. You find that a lot of the jamming that you could kind of feel from the ship, a lot of that seems to be dissipating. Most particularly, like you knew that or you had awareness that these other Klingons that had been throwing up a lot of opposition had been trying to block comms in significant fashion, and there's less of that ambient interference now.
Oh, that's kind of suspicious, not gonna lie. Give me 1 second.
I'll go so far as to say a minor action. Croker takes a moment to download Betty. It's feeling like a 5G experience of sorts. Or Croker's like eyes roll back in his head and like the eyelids close and like flutter a moment. Like the Matrix.
Oh my god. And then you see just a little the electric, you hear like the old school computer electric whir of something coming to life, and then his eyes open and they're like super bright blue again. All right, get out of the way, Puddin. And she walks up to the door.
Okay. I'll ask you for a daring plus engineering roll. Difficulty of 1. I suppose I should check. Are you able to roll at the moment, or do you need me to do anything with that? Right?
I'm sorry, I forgot I had the push button thing. Daring and what?
Daring and engineering.
Okay. And yeah.
Okay, good. And you can roll me one more d20 there, because you only had it set to 1.
No, why did you say that? Why did you tell me to do that? Give me the narrative. I don't even need this. Just give me the narrative.
Yeah. So just to note, that was a 1 and that was a 20 on the die. So just opposite ends of the spectrum. Crit success, crit fail. Okay. Yeah. The door opens. You're able to pretty effortlessly do that. You do earn yourself a point of momentum, and I realize, did we lose Joe there?
No, I'm here.
Okay, I just don't see you on roll 20.
I should be.
I'm going to refresh mine real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna refresh too. It said disconnected on the chat thing, even though I'm staring at the screen. So.
Okay. Yep. All right. So.
I blame those darn hackers in Antarctica. Darn you, penguins.
Yes. Quack.
Aren't the Borg actually there?
Not for another.
Borg come
from? Don't think about the Borg, and they're not there for another like 50, 40 years, something like that. Don't think about the Borg.
That's my problem. I'm always thinking about the Borg.
We're doomed. Anyway,
No, they're there. Oh no, wait a minute. They were there. They left.
Oh wait. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I remember now, Rev. You see, if you recall, in season 2 of Picard.
Yeah. Hey, it's better than season 3.
You watched season 1?
Was better than season 2.
I am not engaging in this conversation. I've not seen season 3, and I enjoyed seasons 1 and 2. So,
Anyways, moving on. What do we see? Are there 2 Klingons inside that we have to kill?
There is only one sitting there and weary, and the moment that it turns around, he says, "Oh, about time! I was awaiting relief." The moment he sees seeing you first, Traven, he is going to reach for his disruptor and level it in your direction.
Hi. I was hoping I could use your communications.
I know not what manner of gentleman you are, but you will not. You will leave this bridge immediately. He's actually also reaching for some sort of communicator. Actually, remain in your place.
Can
You
I
have
roll
parrot?
to shoot him?
Oh.
Definitely. Are you going for a lethal attack, or are you trying to just severely injure him?
Lethal.
Very good. You may roll a control plus security roll, difficulty 2. You do also have 2 momentum available.
I'd like to use one of those momentum.
Okay. Rather than taking out the pile, since I didn't send you one yet, Joe, we'll just leave the count where it is. And you may roll 1 additional d20 there because you bought an extra die.
Damn it.
16 and a 14. Okay, yeah, that doesn't go so well. If you have determination available, then you could you should have determination available, actually. So if you feel like you have an applicable value, there's always the option to re-roll those zeros.
My boy has no values.
Oh dear. Well, this is an activation for Croker, so if you think there's any strong conviction either he or Betty would have that would apply to this, then I would let you add it right on the spot.
Let's see. Well, with Betty, I would have her, because this is actually Betty shooting. This isn't Cooker. Nobody harms the family, maybe.
Yeah, I like that. At the very least, solid general vibe for the thing. So I would allow you to invoke that value, and you may re-roll as many of those zeros as you wish.
Alright, so I rolled 2 dice.
Yep. Really?
Alright.
Okay, yep. That is a square hit to this warrior's chest as he is trying to activate his communicator. That disruptor bolt lands square in his chest, and he is we'll go ahead and roll the damage dice for a disruptor.
Okay, hold on.
Which I'm pretty sure Croker should have a disruptor on hand. If not, then there we go. Okay. Alright, that is 3 points of damage. 2 points plus with that effect roll, that gives you Vicious 1. So that's not quite enough to do a lethal injury. If you would like, you can spend the momentum that you have to re-roll the zeros on that damage as well. Or you can give me 3.
I'm not going to do either of those things. I think we'll keep the momentum. I think Betty's just gonna wistfully say, I'm losing my touch. She kind of uses Crooker to straighten their hair. Come on, boys. And she walks in.
Yeah, well, with that square hit to the chest, you very clearly wind the Klingon, and yeah, that is quite a bit. I will say, just as I'm resolving things here, first I'm assigning myself that point of threat. You did have 3 successes on that roll, so you do also technically have another point of momentum. And then let me just update the... Okay, stream is updated on momentum. And a point of threat for myself here. Okay. Yeah, as you just start walking in, this warrior is going to... seeing this other Klingon come in, he's just going to take a shot in your direction instead, Croker. Badly hit as he is, he's not quite down, so let's see... See what this Klingon soldier can do. Oh dear, that is that's enough for them to hit. So that'll be. I think that they too had an interest in trying to like going in for the kill. So that's.
Oh Jesus!
No.
Okay.
Oh Lord!
Yeah, that is.
Wow.
How many points of stress does Croker have?
Great question. I have no idea. Hang on. Where does that even say?
How many, like, there's like those notches, those roughly circular sort of blocks there.
Oh. Well, I mean, there's 9 circles, but
You're dead.
And Croker wears armor. Am I correct? For 2 threat, is Croker wearing like a nice bit of like surplus woe armor because it's a combat situation and that's smart and that's 2 resistance right there?
how dead is he if he's not wearing armor?
He is. That is 10 points of stress, which 1 would be enough to deal a lethal injury. 2 would mean vaporizing Croker right on the spot. Because that is more than the stress track. So, if you give me the threat, then I can technically, or alternatively, 2 threat, 2 momentum. We can ignore all the injuries. For either of those, we can at least say that Croker lives, but is in a serious situation because Betty has been too used to being a ship for a little while. And wasn't allowing proper care of the meat suit. More importantly, Traven or Zionel can save you if that happens.
How about we kill Kirkur and save Betty?
Oh no!
No.
I mean, I will. Absent alternate universe shenanigans here, I will defer at this point. Which, okay. Would you prefer vaporization, or would you?
Sorry. I completely dropped out. What did you say?
Okay. Let's see. I guess the question becomes if you would like to allow Croker a death on the spot, then would you like to describe how that how would you like that to happen in this case?
Question: who's nearest Croker right now?
Traven. Though.
Okay.
I'll put Traven and Zionel at like equidistant positions if you'd like.
If you touch someone while you're being disrupted, like, does that also like transfer to them at all?
I'm going to say I'm going to
No,
treat it as
no, but they're
here.
in the splash. They're in the splash zone.
Yeah, they'll get a whole bunch of Croker dust here.
Okay. Betty Betty kind of calculates the odds, like as soon as that person stands up, and she just straight up jump ship into Craven's communicator, and she doesn't have the remorse you would think she should have. There is no real sorrow. There is only rage. So as Croker just dissipates into his little mist, you just kind of see a flash of sparks around the communicator, but she goes quiet because she cannot pilot Draven.
Yep. As any last things as Croker himself vanishes, any sort of like expression, or does he look to Zionel or Traven, or what would be the case?
Croker looks to Zionel like one last time, and there is genuine fear in his face. His hair looks immaculate even as he's dying, but overall, his last thought is, "I'm never gonna see the captain again," and he just dies.
All right. Zionel, Traven, the Croker has been just vaporized right in front of you, and you are still in combat against an angry but partially wounded Klingon.
Can I use a command action?
I suppose loosely it could apply. I don't know if Zionel would necessarily answer to it. That's a Rev question there.
Zionel is running the numbers right now, so if you give him a good solution, he'll do it. But he is seriously running numbers.
So, Traven, what would you be trying to tell Zionel? And like, give us first, I'll say, give me the pitch and like what Traven says and does and how he says it exactly. Give us that moment here.
No one kills the crew. Take him out.
I'll give you presence plus command to direct, so you can assist, and I will give you the extra. I'll let you roll 2 dice here, just to supplement whatever Zionel does next. Zionel, there's a steely determination in Traven's voice as he gives you that assist.
I'm going to use my advisor.
Okay.
What does that do?
Whenever you assist another character using my command discipline, the character being assisted may reroll 1d20.
Okay, that's good to know.
All right, Zionel, you have one. The calculations run through your mind. There is the imminent threat of a Klingon warrior who probably has enough time to get off a shot at one of you, so survival is still very much possible if you so desire. However, there's the principle of of not tolerating the loss of valuable business partners, as the bag of Darsex close in your belt reminds you that Croker was, and for all you know, may still have had more at their disposal, and further the prospect that this warrior may pass along a report that could further endanger your prospect of long-term survival. There's also the cold efficiency counting of the number of ways that you can effectively finish this person off, and the skill set you have to do it.
So let's see. Oh my god. This was not how I was expecting this to go. Give me a second.
Me neither.
Me neither.
I woke up and chose violence today. I'm sorry.
Well, we're playing Klingons. You should choose violence.
It's
You're
true.
just not supposed
Violence
to
is the
die.
correct choice.
Okay,
Just not
listen.
supposed to die.
Shush. Let me do my thing.
Zional is going to take a brief glance at Traven, surprised at his pair that he's apparently grown here, and he is going to man, he really wants to stab Draven and be done with it, but he'll go after the Klingon. Yeah, he's gonna close in, and he is going to, he's gonna try and go for this guy's throat.
Okay.
With one of his knives that he keeps on him.
This will be a daring plus security roll. You essentially already have a critical success from Traven's direct action helping you here. It is contested against the Mog Warrior.
Assassination applies?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Just gotta check.
You must be... Oh, the soldier has
I already
already rolled
hit,
a
so
single
that's good.
success, so yeah, just roll any success and...
Well, that's enough. I think that's enough.
Describe how you, well, first go ahead and roll...
Well, I gotta roll damage.
Yeah, let's roll damage on the knife. Let's see how that does. Account for any spending that you want to do.
Unfortunately, I can't use ambush tactics on this.
Okay, that is 4 successes. You can re-roll the 0. You can, well, if you want to, either give the GM threat or spend momentum from your pool. Which I will note, you have 3 points of momentum that have not yet been assigned. They are floating and will otherwise go into the pool. You could re-roll the 0 with them. You could just buy yourself additional points of damage.
Can you... So I know with space weaponry, you can... Well, first of all, is this guy wearing armor?
I'm going to say that he's stripped down to like more of a standard uniform. That is how I was treating him.
Okay, gotcha. So I'll use all 3 of my momentum. I will spend 1 to add a point of damage, just in case he has that resistance from any kind of potential armor that he has. This was lethal, by the way.
Yes.
If you need that momentum, if you need that threat. 1 to do an extra point of damage. And I'm going to spend the other 2 to make the dagger that I am stabbing him with one of the ones that Croker gave me. One of his Diktog. And the reason for that is so I can spin the narrative. To make sure that the fight looks like it was between 2 Klingons.
I gotcha. So, let's see. Just to clarify, that is, so 1 to ignore any resistance, 1 to add that additional point of damage that will allow you to...
Well, no. Just one to ignore the resistance, because it's vicious, so that'll be 5 points. That'll be enough for a wound.
Yep.
And then 2 to create the advantage.
Oh, yeah. you're right. I see there. Okay, so that will account for all the incoming momentum. I have track on that now. So yeah, describe then how you close the distance with this warrior and how you dispatch them.
So the warrior is probably still shifting his aim as I just crouch down and with surprising speed go under his firing arc as he's trying to train his gun down and just shoot my knife, well, Croker's knife, up and into the base of his head and just straight up through the jawline into his skull.
The eyes go completely dead as another warrior here is sent to Stelvalcor. And he will collapse down to the floor as you remove the knife.
Oh no, I'm gonna leave the knife in.
Oh. He'll collapse down and as you let the knife go, and dropping that, allowing the disruptor to clatter to his side. Combat has ended, and the two of you are alone in the bridge compartment.
I'm going to immediately go to the communications and hail security.
Okay. There's a...
Oh yeah. He needs time is of the essence to make the narrative proper.
Gotcha. A voice will eventually answer, a bit weary and perhaps the slight slur of its words. Who's bridge? Whose signals?
This is Zional, quartermaster of the Yan and worker, servant of Raldar of your house. There's been an accident. Your Klingons have decided to go and spill each other's blood over here on the bridge.
Death or dismemberment?
Death, too. It looks like there was a fight, and one of them managed to kill the other as he got vaporized.
Generals expressly forbade this. Should have put aside these struggles. Honor must have demanded something here. But great shot, the timing could not have been worse. I will be to the bridge as soon as I can proceed there. Doctor, finish your work. Sadly, it will take me some time. I am not as. What am I telling a sir? That sounds to be Jigpui, or some other sort of one lesser. I will head up to that section soon. Depart the bridge immediately and cease any operations. Or return to your ship. I will be there, and I will have someone, if we live to see this day, place questions with your captain.
Good. Thank you.
Ugh. He just kind of... It's a grunt that you imagine as being paired with a dismissive wave as the comm line cuts out, leaving you and Traven alone on the bridge.
What
Okay.
the hell was that?
I was gonna talk my way out of it. I don't know.
Well, I've bought us an alibi at least, but we gotta get out of here quick.
I'm not gonna have Betty send the thing. He's in the communicator, I believe. So I'm not gonna bother her right now.
The communication is like so hot. The communicator is so hot it's kind of burning your hand, just like whirring.
It's overclocked right now because it's not supposed to be able to hold that much active code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Traven...
You mean the... Wait, Draven. The thing that started all this is still here.
What is?
That's what you're saying? This... You said the Betty is in your communicator?
Yes.
So we destroy it. Simple matter. We wouldn't be in this mess without it.
You guys don't necessarily know that Betty was the one that instigated that shot, though.
I put my communicator in one of my pockets, and I pull out a disruptor pistol, and I hand it to you. Then kill me. She didn't start this, I did. With your logic, I should die.
Okay, Traven. Do you really want to do this?
You need to understand.
No, I know. I'm asking you out of character. Do you really want to do this?
There's more to what he has to say.
You gave him a gun and told him to kill you. He's going to fire.
When he grabs it, he's gonna say, "But if you do this, you're going to have a huge target on your head." I'm willing to go down for this. But if Croker, me, and Betty are gone, how's that going to look on you?
I've survived worse.
And you can survive more. But it's better with us than out on your own. And killing off crew members isn't going to help you. It's going to make it worse. I promise. Wasn't supposed to go down this way. I'm sorry that it did. But killing off people isn't going to solve the problem. It's just going to make it so much worse.
Solved a lot of my problems so far.
Not here.
Fine. Do what you need to do, and then get out of here.
Betty, are you up to send a communication?
Betty
Betty
Can I roll to transfer her into the ship?
I will let you, using the late great Croker's sheet, you may roll. Let's call it reason plus science.
Oh my god.
Bitch, what is
Can
with
you
Betty's
stop?
rolls today? What is with the
okay.
rolls today?
Now wait a minute. That 19, I have not assigned a complication, and I am not feeling cruel enough to do so right now. So that 0, just so you can see, chat. I promise you that is a 19 right there on the die. There we go. So, yes, that complication shouldn't be in, should not be in play. And with that, yeah, Betty, you are able to transfer into this new Klingon ship. It is, it's not quite so nice as what you are used to. You could swear that the captain sprung for something nicer, like those duotronics that you might hear about every so often. Though I don't remember. We haven't established that in firm canon. In any case, the computer system is a bit older, but you feel comfortable enough to be able to suit your needs.
So who
All right.
exactly are we calling, Traven?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Who exactly are we calling?
To be
Your
specific,
friends?
Yep. Brill.
Ah, Trill.
Do we
Hopefully-
have a specific trill in mind, sweetheart?
No, just send it out on L-Trill frequencies. It'll be picked up by somebody if they are Trill, or unfortunately Federation, but it'll get sent to Trill nonetheless.
Guns back up.
Hmm?
Federation.
You know that Trill's a part of it, but this won't be a Federation thing. It'll be sent to Trill specifically.
But
I should let you know,
sorry,
sweet pea.
historical thing. I don't think Trill is part of the Federation yet.
Oh, is it not?
Is it not? Okay.
I am treating it as there. They just don't.
Well, if it is by GM Fiat, then I will shut up.
All right. Well, sensing that the pistol or the disruptor's back up, you just hear a loud booming Betty voice saying, "I should let you know, darling, if you fire that gun, you're not getting off this ship. And you're certainly not getting off it alive. You will join the dust of my former husband."
So let me understand this, Traven. You're going to send a message to the enemies of the people you're working with?
I'm not working with anyone. This is to the homeworld. That's what this is specifically designed for. It's going to be on a Trill frequency, and it's going to be designated at the front of the message that this is designated for Trill
Trill
personnel.
are lapdogs of humans. Every single race in that blasted United Earth space frame is slaves to humans. You know how this works.
Have you ever actually been on a ship, worked with them?
Thankfully, I've avoided that fate.
You know there's no slavery, right?
That's what they want you to think. They disguise it. And they make it sound like everything is fair. But let me ask you, how many of your Federation captains, of your Federation crews, of those warships that they control, are human? Who's in charge?
Oh, don't forget Vulcan.
Oh, I won't forget the Vulcans. Did you know there was a time that the Vulcans and humans were equals, and then the Federation sent a strike team to destabilize Vulcan power? Do you know why? Because the Vulcans wanted to be treated as equals. Now they are just a member of the Human Federation.
You can spin any story to look bad. You could do it with the Klingons the same way.
If I was aboard a Federation ship, and lived with their lies, I'm sure I would.
Have you been a Klingon slave? Have you been a Romulan slave? Have you been a slave for a long time?
Oh, Trafen. The Romulans conquered my people a long time ago.
Then you should know that their slavery is nothing even close to that.
At least they don't pretend to be something they're not. I'm sure you know about the war between Earth and the Romulans. Everyone does. Do you know why the Romulans never showed their face to the humans?
Sure, you're gonna tell me.
Because humans are so easily swayed. And they're bigots. And they treat anyone who's not like them as different. You see, you've seen a Romulan, sounds like. You've seen a Vulcan. You know we're family. In a way. And even though my people may not agree with where our family went, we knew that if we showed our faces to the humans, that it would destroy our cousins. That's what humans are. That's what their Earth Starfleet does. It looks for things that are different, and it forces them into its own mold under the pretense of unity. And then the second it realizes that there is something not them, something not same, it turns on them.
Much like Klingons tend to do with people they don't see as Klingon, right? Because I've been dealing with that constantly.
But they don't lie about it. They're honest. And you can work with honesty. You don't realize the lies until it's too late. You want to contact your Earth friends? Fine. I'm not going to stop you. The ship would kill me, it sounds like. We'll circle back on that one later. But I don't have to be a part of it.
It's fine.
And he's going to turn his disruptor, he's going to shoot the communications console, and he's going to walk out.
Do you have parents?
He's gone.
Well, Betty, that was my one safe chance to tell my parents I was okay.
I mean, he didn't destroy the communications array. Like, Betty can still do whatever she wants.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy.
Yeah, I didn't go and go and find the communications array and blow it up.
I was about to say, I can
crazy.
fix this, no problem.
She's not that crazy.
Yeah. It's just shooting, like, the nearest console and heading off. It's like, oh no, now it's like I have a few minutes or sooner before Betty reroutes things, but the point is made. So yeah, Traven, it is now you, Betty, and the dead Klingon at your feet. Croker's knife embedded in his jaw.
Whenever you're ready for me to send.
Do I need to roll for this?
You know, as crazy as the roleplay has been here, I think I'm just going to give that to you.
Oh, come on. Let's make it difficult. You would.
As crazy as the role play or the rolling?
Okay,
Porque no las dos.
Betty, give me a... I'm going to ask for a control plus engineering roll. I'm spending a point of threat because that's just how we're doing things now, and it will be at a complication range of 2. You are assisted by the ship, which I will roll for you.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Wow.
why?
It's a 19.
But that counts because I spent the threat for it.
Oh, DM.
I have done nothing here. Well, I spent.
Does Betty count as having a point of determination?
She used hers, right?
I used mine. Just let's do this.
Oh, what the? Oh, wait,
Use
no,
Tay-Box.
Okay,
Use
that's
Tay-Box. Tay-Box will lend you his from several light years away.
all right. So that
Oh my god.
The good news is that
zero
the
is
ship
an
one doesn't
18.
count.
Yes, that is an 18. Let me try to re-roll that here. Just get it right. Okay, that
What
still
is
doesn't
going
count.
on?
That's a
Oh
17.
my god.
The ship die is just broken. Try that one more time.
Oh
my
no,
God.
this is
All right.
what?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, ship die is just broken. All of these zeros, that was an 18, a 17, and a 15, respectively. So none of those count. Traven, I think you still have determination if you want to re-roll on this.
DM, did you get my message?
I did get
Of
the
what the-
message.
So with that, can I use my troubling secret value with how I wrote it
Yes.
and re-roll?
Yes, you may. I will allow you to let Betty re-roll.
Re-roll that 0, please.
Okay.
You can re-roll. We'll re-roll the pool, and maybe we'll have a working ship die here.
There you go.
Thank God. Thank God.
Okay, that was still a 15 from the
Thank
ship.
whatever gods the Klingons haven't killed yet.
Jeez.
There we go.
All right. Yeah. So, then just one more to test to make sure. Okay, no, that's just strange. I don't understand. Anyway, okay, so with 3 successes, I will say the message that you a message is ready to go out on the appropriate frequencies that you need to, and we'll say that with a cutaway, Betty's like, Betty will be able to say that, the channel's open. What do you want to say? And we just get a close-up of Traven as he ponders carefully the words he wants to relay. And we will leave that scene to go back to the plot. Where, yeah, so Raldar, you, Latosh, and your little motley band have made your way back to the command center, where you come carrying news to to Kulek. By the time that you make it there, through throngs of very weary warriors, confused by the fact that the offensive has not yet begun yet, you see that the Kullorn commander is facing a holographic, and I mean a very, much more in a Star Wars sort of fashion, or like closer to what you would see on the Ship of the Dead, so transparent, green, and not entirely stable. You see that being transmitted over the table of a very tall Hay'wI, who who's bearded and in heavy ceremonial armor. He carries himself with the with the composure of someone noble, maybe a little bit more relaxed than one would expect. This is a warrior very confident in his victory and in what is to come. This would be the the character that Shegla probably alluded to, one General Gonuch. So,
Nothing much. What's Ganook with you?
God damn it.
Off of his head.
We've already had too much, like, more death than I was expecting.
So close to
Nobody expects Croker's death.
so close to a clean win.
Least of all Croker.
Yep. So yes, you arrive mid-speech, as Gornuch is saying. And though you have fought valiantly, Kullorn, your time has now come. But we may settle our battle honorably, but give our warriors a chance for victory another day. As your messenger has told us, or pet, assassin, saboteur, I know not. But know that your offer of single combat I find more than acceptable. I should look forward to meeting you on the field. Kulek appears like to be scrutinizing the hologram and just says, my blade shall know the taste of your heart tonight, Molly. Today is a very good day for you to die. And just pulling his lips up into a very high smile, the comm line disappears, or like the hologram disappears as the comm disengages. Kulek kind of looks a bit downcast, leaning up against the table. Tash, you are not in your position. Well, I can see why now. His gaze falling to you, Raldar. Seems that your mission was eventful.
Very.
Although, as you have missed it, it looks as though battle will end honorably. He laid out at the start his demand that we send a single warrior out to meet their general in combat.
Who do you intend to do battle?
No sooner do you ask than Latash steps forward. General, it would be my honor to dispatch this commander of the Mog forces. But Kulek raises his hand. I will not hear it. The glory today of victory shall be mine. Now, I will go out and face them. You may rest the men and ready them for departure. This will not take long. First part, I'm going to say Latash is looking back up at Kulek with a kind of a slightly incredulous or very marginally surprised roll. Like, knowing what he knows, Raldar, you understand why why he would be baffled at that. But yeah. How are you feeling of this notion?
Raldar expected this. Due to, the house is a long history of traditionalist warriors. He absolutely would take the duel himself.
No. Latash nonetheless rises and says, surely you can allow us to make combat here, or for me to make a stand, or another warrior of the house. A chance for victory today, and glory for others in the future. Victory that you could earn further down the line. I will not have more discussion. Now, go relieve the men. Latash stops and just bows his head and turns around, and likewise, Kulek orders other officers that are standing by to leave, and just leaving the two of leaving you and the other warriors. Those in your little group are at least nearby.
The B team. Let's do.
Yep. Yes. So Kulek leans against the panel here. Not planning on seeking the glory for yourself here, I hope.
No, I would not deny you your chance to tell the nation of your battles here.
Culmination is the best word. In any battle, when one cannot take a further step forward, when the blade shatters and disruptors run out of energy, then when one cannot advance further, the battle does indeed culminate. Oh. You did well today, Raldar.
Thank you, Uncle.
Go ahead.
I do what I can to honor the house.
I think that is where we are. He shakes his head for a moment. When I came here, I thought this would be a much greater opportunity for battle. I found it inexcusable that House Ketoch did not rally to this world's defense, but I did not come here simply to seek out battle. He nods to the rest of your, he'll actually gesture for you to come a bit closer, separate from the others. The sons of Kodrak. Those you would call your adoptive brothers. They told me they would have been here too. They thought there was a chance of some greater prospect. But for reasons I know not, they never showed here.
They better have a good reason.
Yes. But a reason that your father must know of. All the house must learn.
Yes.
So many have needlessly gone to Stovall Court today, and in these days before. This battle would have been difficult either way, but we could have won it! There, as he says this, he shakes a little bit at that, and there is not just there's anger in his face, but there's also a rare flash of grief. Today, and these days that have preceded it, were a waste of some of our most skilled warriors. And I will die here today in ignorance of why. He walks back across the table, and from an area kind of covered with various pads and other bits of material, maybe a bit of rubble, signs of war plans, other items, he lifts what appears to be a batleth. One that would appear to have the standard rounded edges, although it seems as though part of the bottom edge appears to be slightly deformed. It is as though a close, like you would suspect from your engineering know-how, Raldar, that the disruptor, that a disruptor pulse or some other high energy explosive went off in very close proximity, and just about melted it partially melted some of the metal, so it is no longer uniform. It is a bit more jagged on one end. Do not die in the same ignorance that I did, Raldar.
I intend to find out their lack of worth. But today, you shall see Kalis in Stovacor.
Yes, yes. And he'll
And make sure,
Good.
and make sure whoever you fight also sees Kalis too.
He'll nod and look over his blade. And I am going to give him one roll here just to see how fatalistic he is feeling. Not particularly. He is going to double crit on that, which will mean that I'm going to say that is 2 more momentum for his pool here. And speaking of Joe, you might want to refresh. We lost you on roll 20 again.
Ah!
Them darn Antarcticans. Come on now.
Yes, yes. He'll look over the blade and look to you for a moment, but then resolve back on the blade and use it to help prop himself up. Would you see an old man to his last duel?
I shall.
With that, he'll extend out an arm and offer with an open palm ready to clasp into one of your claws.
And I do so. And help him up.
Yep. With your claw meeting his hand, it is quite a bit larger than his own hand, but you manage to interlace such that your both are properly interlocked, and with the strong weight of your arm, you help Kulek begin to make his way out from his command bunker and to join the fray that is to come. He is not so heavy as a physical weight, as a warrior of his house, but he, like a normal Klingon, that would be to say, but there is a particular weight of seeing this warrior off to a final battle, to a chance for glorious death or possible victory. There is the feel of his determination carrying him one more step forward. One more step forward every time. With you on one side and the blade on the other, he makes his way alongside you with that. The other two warriors in your little band in tow, and a very curious Dar following. Let's see. Before we go too much further, let me ask, guys, would everybody like a momentary breather or break of any sort?
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Momento.
I'm down.
As the expression is, smoke them if you got them.
Yep.
Already on it.
Moment to hydrate, recover, and just take a breather. So, yeah, let me put us back up here. All right. Folks, we are going to be right back here in just a minute. We'll call it more appropriately 5 minutes, so 22 minutes past the hour, and yeah, we will resume shortly. Till then, let me get us moved back up here. All right, so I'm gonna mute us real quick.
Sorry, we're putting you through hell.
Oh, you folks are sending me through Grethor, and it is an enjoyable thing. I love it. And we are back now with we are coming back with Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. So welcome back, everybody. We have had some things happen during the front end of the session, and yeah, I think that we are just going to jump back from where we left off. So, going to say that we are back in the burned city on the planet of Hol Shamar. Raldar, during the commercial break, you helped Kulek with your other crewmates in tow, and you have escorted them to the battle line, essentially, or the no man's land. It is a place of just thoroughly scorched and vitrified earth. As you step from the fortifications, the ground before you just crunches, having been turned to like seared glass and rock beneath your feet. During that time, I will say you've had the time to relate the story, the story of everything that has happened. So, as Kulek has listened to this and had you had your help getting there, he takes notice that your own diktak is still quite bloody. A fair bit of blood on that. How deep did your diktak spread?
To the base. To the hilt. Right, and one of their other generals. So it's up for DU to make it 2 for 2.
You put a smile on this old man's face. He'll look down to the ground for a moment before meeting your gaze. This is where I cannot have you go further. This is where I meet my end.
I will not step further, but I will witness it.
Kulek takes a couple tentative steps forward, looking out over the battlefield. It's difficult to see through the smoke and haze, but you should know by this point General Gonuch is probably somewhere out on the field himself now. But Kulek will stop for a moment, and I'll turn back. It took the heart of a Klingon to win the victory you did today, and the guile of a wiser warrior than I feel. He looks like he might want to say something more, but something like, despite himself, he cannot bring himself to it. So he'll simply look back one more time and nod, and then turn around, marching off onto the field. As he does this, you hear the sounds of more heavy footsteps from behind you. As Dar comes up, apparently he looks a little expectant of you, as if, are we not going to, wanting to take steps forward himself. Pray?
No. I want you to watch very carefully. What you're about to see is not a battle of beasts, but a battle between warriors. Honorable warriors.
Battle. Honor. Dar will cast a gaze out across the field. As do you. Smoke still completely obscuring your view, but in your head, you see amidst the shadows the interplay of footsteps from two warriors stepping on. You can imagine the one distant, too far from any others to be in sight of his other warriors, still managing that 1 foot forward, even as the weary Batleth to one side allows Kulek to step forward. You can so firmly imagine the pain as if it were your own, playing out his every move playing out in your mind's eye. You can feel the weight of that sword, although you have never carried it. You can smell the ash and death in the air that has been wrought. And you can imagine in your head, Raldar, the approach of a warrior dressed ornately, but with a bat'leth not too dissimilar to your own. A Hay'wI, confident, ready to draw in for the kill. So, you are finally ready to die today. The warrior greets you.
Good a death as any.
Yes. I shall give you the death you deserve. But rest assured, it will be honorable. And you will find your way to Stovokor today. With that, Raldar, you now have control of Kulek's sheet. As your enemy readies his batleth, he simply nods, yielding to you the first attack.
Dude, you're breaking up. I lost you. I can't hear anything.
Oh. Hello? Can you hear me now?
Now, yes, but I lost you after you raised the batleth.
Oh.
I could hear the whole thing on my end. I don't know about everyone else.
Alright. Okay. May have just been you there, Sean. Hopefully Discord continues to function for all of us.
Yep.
In any case, the Goduch will raise his batleth, readying himself, but with a simple nod and smile, he is yielding the initiative to you, Kulek. So, you are now in combat.
Kulek will take a deep breath and let out a battle try and meet the general.
Okay. Charging in with a furious cry and swing of the blade, you move for the attack. Go ahead and Well, I should ask, do you mean to make the battle cry an advantage to try and boost momentum, or do you wish to simply clash with your blade?
It is spending a point of threat to buy an extra die.
Ah, very good, very good. I will
For
take
the
that
warrior
point.
spirit.
Yep. Then I will take that point of threat. You have an additional d20, and you may make your attack. I will go ahead and actually just put that point of threat back into Gonuch so that he may roll to counter. Oop, and I realize none of you can see that, so that should be Gonuch rolls 2 successes. Kulek rolls 2 as well, however, so you manage to, because the attacker takes the initiative every time, you manage to succeed in the attack. So,
All right.
although actually, it occurs to me we have both purchased dice with threat, and we both have zeros in that roll. So I think I'm going to force you to take advantage of that re-roll, since we
right.
both have warrior spirit.
All right.
Gonuch rolls 1 success. Ah, but Kulek keeps to it.
Wow.
Through the pain of every step, through the flashing of blades, the two of you alternating between 2 and 1-handed strikes, swing your batleths viciously, each clash meeting each other. Gonuch seems to, at first your pressing seems to put Gonuch in a bad position. As he makes ready a counter, however, you answer it just as effortlessly. You are giving everything you have left, for you know nothing else this day will last here. Or nothing will last past this day for you. And in doing so, you overpower his initial defense. Give me a damage roll for the Batleth.
All right.
That should have vicious on that as well. I am sorry about that. Let me.
Oh, I see. So you put it in the wrong section.
Oh, whoops. Let me. Here. Yep. Very good. All right. Let me. Okay, you got that fixed.
Very and it didn't roll 3 dice because of that.
Oh no. Roll that again then for damage. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then another 3 for vicious 1. So 9 points of damage. With armor, he will ignore one of those points of stress, but it will slice it up something fierce. Gonuch will also. That would be enough to deal what I presume is a lethal injury.
Of course.
Very good, very good. I am going to spend the 2 threat necessary to ignore that injury, although, wait a minute. Brack Lull, I think, comes into play, because it should allow us to, or if, I remember this came up last time, and it, I think, actually saves on that particular purchase. Let me double check here.
Tough is the talent that reduces the cost for avoiding injury.
Right, yeah. Sorry, I just remembered that came up last time. I got things a bit mixed up and confused, which I apologize for.
It's all good.
Yes, GM. Doing his best. So let's see. Just making sure. Alright, Klingon talents. Bracklol. Gain 2 resistance against all non-lethal attacks whenever you are the target of a first aid task. Okay, well that's definitely not happening here right now. So, you will take the 8 points of stress, which is about half of the track, and I'm going to spend 2 threat in order to ignore the injuries. So you may describe the gash that you deal on this man, what would be a lethal blow, but that the general will manage to survive.
It was a blow that would have nearly sliced right into his neck, but he pulls back at the last moment, leaving a star across his face. If he survives.
Glorious. Yeah. The errant, jagged blade of the batleth that has been partially melted factored into this, as had your batleth been properly placed and not malformed by the disruptor burst that struck some days earlier, the burst that left you mortally wounded those days ago, that simple coward's barrage of disruptors that had nearly deprived you of this chance to die on the battlefield, has just deprived you of your killing blow, but you have left Gonuch a sign, something that will linger, something that will allow him to remember this day where you could have won. At the very least, where you fight to save your own. Gonuch, blood spurting from his face and from parts of his neck, is taken off guard and growls in rage at this. But a smile, partially absorbed by the blood, obscured by the blood, also comes up. This is the battle that he was craving too, and not simply the confrontation that you have been fighting, this seesawing artillery battle for all this time. That same warrior's song hews to you as well, and brings you both into into another stretch of blows. He lunges forward in an attack. And with another point of threat, which I'll just say came from the lethal attack, he is going to roll. That is 3 successes. Warrior Spirit will allow 1 additional re-roll there. Okay, you have to beat 4.
All right. I will do my own warrior spirit then. Buy an extra die.
The
with
GM
threat.
appreciates your threat. I will go ahead and presume lethal blow as well, so 2 points.
Of course.
And let's see, so that is also 4 successes there. With that single roll, that does... You technically match, which will, because initiative goes to the attacker, Gonuch will succeed. With Warrior's Spirit, you could re-roll a 1 in the hopes of getting a critical success.
I gotta gamble.
You're gonna lose either way, so you might as well.
Yeah. Look, if I get a crit, I win.
Not quite a crit. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Hello,
GM.
GM.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's see.
I thought for a second there you were just that stunned.
A little bit, yeah. But I will say, so that is now, because you re-rolled 1 of your successes, that is 3 successes, and that is a natural 20 on the board, thus presenting a complication. Caligo, I do have a complication in mind if you are okay with narrative.
I am perfectly okay with narrative.
Very good. And so, as your blades clash again, this time you meet his defense, and with the fury of his blows, with every swing of the batleth, coming left, right, coming from above and below. It seems that he might be able to attrit his way through your defenses. But you see there's a possibility. There's a method to his madness. There's a certain pattern to the technique which he employs. With one risky move, with one last burst of strength, you think maybe, just maybe, you can get under the blow. You can get past his blade and go in for an attack, practically decapitating him. You just need to shift the blade properly. So you go in, you try to raise it for a block, but there is a sudden just burst to his rage, to his strength, to where you plan basically to catch his blade as he swings down vertically and try to deflect it. But as he does, the blade comes down with such fury that finally, after the damage it too sustained, and the damage you have sustained, the blade shatters through the center of the bat'leth, cleaving it in two and running directly down through your chest, separating between the parts of the rib cage and slicing into what remaining organs are functional. As the blade finally exits from your gut, you feel the sear of great pain and the loss of the loss of the just utter the loss of any composure you have left. Much as your battle plan was seemed doomed to as well, the gamble has failed, for the force has given out. That being with 6 points of, 6 points from the effects plus vicious, plus another 3, that would be 9 points of stress, which is enough for a lethal injury. And I do think that, I know Kulek technically has a little more than that, but I think that he was already a bit injured himself, as the mortally wounded trait suggests.
Yeah.
No.
I will spend his 2 momentum on something else then before he dies.
Yeah. Well,
An advantage, so that where his bat'leth falls will be towards Raldar.
the 2 halves drop from your hands, and with the sudden loss of, with the sudden severe wound, fall to your, you fall to your knees here, badly hurt. Yes. You fought well, warrior of the House of Kullorn.
Today was a good day to die.
The warrior nods wordlessly before the swing of his bat'leth comes down. Meeting, with your gaze, meeting his. Another warrior joins Stovokor. Raldar, some minutes later, though the duel is played out in your mind, it is not till some moments later that there is verification that from one of the other officers in the trench that that one of the life signs has faded over in the battlefield. Latash, who stands a bit behind you, is receiving communications, and also hears word being transmitted from the other lines. The Maag will permit us to depart the planet. They consider their victory complete, and our own battle as our own part in the battle as over. They will make provision for some supplies so that we may leave Hoshemar.
I see.
A simple clap. The weary warriors of House Kullorn start moving, beginning to pull up their positions, and for those that otherwise just trudging back to their ship, or back towards their ships. Latash will stand for another moment more, looking out into the mist, and then simply turn away and leave. While Nogri and Quebec may be standing somewhere nearby, whatever, if they have anything that they wish to do, you guys can note that here. I will say, Dar looks out and just says, "Battle."
The battle is done. No more fighting on this world. For now.
There's a bit of a light that almost comes to his eyes as he looks over, says simply, "Honor."
With honor, there will be peace for now.
And Raldar, is there anything else you wish to do here?
Raldar is going to walk forward into the mist. Until he can find Kulik.
Stepping forward through the no man's land and through the cracked terrain, you come across the decapitated body of a warrior of the House of Kullorn. The head not too far by, and its eyes seemingly already closed. To either side of him is the cracked segments of a batleth.
Raldar will let out the death roar.
Which will echo across the field, and for a warrior just now reapproaching the other end of the lines, will give him momentary pause.
And once he stops, he will wait for a moment, pausing, thinking. And then he will collect the pieces of the shattered batleth.
Alright. You have acquired the broken batleth of Kulek.
Would you even say a broken sword?
Yes! the Yan Gorpu. Or it might be Gorpu Yan. In any case, with the two halves of the blade, you drag them off, and leave the empty shell as it is, presuming you have nothing else you would want to do in the moment.
No, he's done.
All right. Well, would you guys be okay with a time skip to where we set back off on the ship?
I'd be fine with that.
Sounds fine.
All right. So, cutting ahead some ways, the Yan has now finally departed Holshamar. The crew, such as any remain, are all back on board and on their course. But amidst the recovery, and as you were noting everything, Azek, you were very soon made aware that one member of the crew had not come back, and I think that we would be cutting to the middle of the scene where, going theater of the mind, so that Azek would understand exactly why that is. Joe, Rev, would you like a scene for Azek and Zional?
I would be delighted.
Is this going to be a separate, quiet scene away from everybody else?
I would actually, I suppose I would ask, do you guys want to make this, go into theater of the mind and separate that out, or would Zional be wanting to, say this up on the bridge?
He wouldn't, he will meet the captain where the captain wants to be met at.
Okay.
While they're having their meeting, Chemak's going to be asking, "Hey, where'd the pretty boy go?"
Let's see. Azek, would you prefer to, when Zional tells you he has news about Crow Kerr, would you prefer to take it on the bridge in front of the crew, or would you rather go into, quarters, or captain's quarters or office, basically, the equivalent of a ready room, and have the discussion privately?
We can start it on the bridge.
Okay. We'll say then the Yan has only just recently set off on its course. So that'll let me let me remove the corpse. All right. Figuring out whom I can make visible here. Chemek, I'll put you on the bridge. Nogri can be there. We'll not have Traven there just yet, but just for the assortment of crew in positions, I'm going to put Nogri actually at helm, since he probably knows how to do that, at least a little bit. Oh yes, and gotta make Azek visible. Raldar, would you also want to be in the bridge, or would you say that you are in just focusing on your work in engineering?
I'll just focus on my work in engineering.
Fair enough. You've had a day.
He's had his day.
Yeah. Azek, it does occur to you as the quartermaster walks onto the bridge, I'm going to say Chemek's question did get asked aloud, and you haven't heard anything from the transporter room recently. So you're only just thinking of it when Zional steps on.
Captain.
Yes.
Crocker's dead.
Oh, that's where pretty boy went.
Yes.
Would you care to explain?
I honestly wish I could, Captain. We walked in to a room where there was a Klingon. He acted rightfully suspicious, and Croker pulled out his gun and shot him. Well, tried to shoot him. He missed. Enough.
How close were they?
And what
How bad a shot was it? Sorry, Cat Mouse, shut up.
It's a valid question.
Close enough that Croker was able to lodge a knife in the man's throat before he finished evaporating.
Is Croker still among us?
No, he was vaporized.
Tis a shame.
I wish I understood more of what happened, Captain. Senseless death is not agreeable with me. It's not the way good work habits are formed.
Well, did he die honorably at least?
I suppose.
Was there conflict that you were involved in that he went out in battle?
It ended so quickly between the two of them, I don't know if I would call it battle. But it was a fight between them, however brief it was.
Then we shall celebrate his passing to Stovokor with glory, going out in a fight like that makes a Klingon's blood strong. Tonight, extra rations of blood ale, whatever we've got. Let us not speak ill of the dead. We will note his passing in the ship's log. And please make a full report to send to, I guess he's not Admiral yet, but Tabak, as you have time.
Of course, I will get on that as soon as I can. There is one more small matter. Well, not so small.
Which is?
Our chef took the opportunity while amidst the chaos to send a message off-world. He betrayed your empire to the enemy.
Do we know what the message was?
I do not know. All I know is who it was sent to. The United Federation of Planets.
Mostly because we are in a bit of a time crunch here, I think I'm going to spend 2 more threats just to cut the scene there, and
Yep, that works.
we will deal with more of this later. But yeah, I think for now, for all of you in the archive, this is where we are going to go ahead and cut the session for now. So thank you for joining us for this episode. If you want to ever keep up with us live, check out the links in our description, and you can catch Broken Sword on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is our at least current plans. We may have some schedule changes that we make in the future, but in any case, we'll keep you up to date on that either through here or through other social media that we have. So feel free to follow us there as well, join on our Discord, and yeah, otherwise enjoy. But until then, chapla and Have a good rest of your evening.